Guys, trust me when I say this, I wish I could make positive videos on the Hardy Boyz. Because believe it or not, this was my favorite tag team back in the day. I don't care what anybody says. Matt and Jeff Hardy was the tag team to watch back in the day. Back in the day, the Hardy Boyz were the best tag team in the company. Not in the company, in the industry. They were the quintessential tag team in wrestling back in the day. And that stayed with them until, like, what, 2008? They was known as the best tag team in wrestling until 2008. That's a long time. And rightfully so, they deserved to be called that. You know? And then, for some reason recently, it's like after their career started to wind down, you know, Jeff Hardy left the WWE, Matt Hardy went on to do his other things with his life. Things just started falling apart for them. And it's like I said, guys, I wanted this video to be positive. I wanted to come up here and make a positive video about the Hardy Boyz. Trust me. And hopefully I will someday soon. I would like to come up here and say, you know, it's good to see the Hardy Boyz getting their shit together. But as of right now, I can't. You read the title and it's... Look, you know me. You know me. Those who've watched my videos know I tell the truth. Okay? Yes, I bash people from time to time, and it does rub people the wrong way. But one thing I always do on this channel is tell the truth. And when I say the Hardy Boyz have fallen, when you read the title, The Fall of the Hardy Boyz, and I come on here and tell you that both Matt and Jeff Hardy are in deep shit nowadays, it's the truth. It's not bashing them. They're in deep shit. Both of them. Both of them are in trouble. And, you know, I may have my personal feelings about Jeff Hardy, who really I've lost respect for. You have this guy who has made so many freaking mistakes. So many mistakes in his life. He got released by WWE for drug problems. Then comes back, assumingly cleaned up himself in 2006. Had a very great run. You know, then got the championship. Wait, didn't he get suspended twice? So even when he came back, he was still getting suspended. But even then, WWE gave him chance after chance, put the championship on him, made him a prominent superstar on SmackDown. Yeah, he was one of the drawing superstars on SmackDown, had the feud of the year in 2009, and for some reason he wanted to leave anyways. And I was like, you know what, do what you do, Jeff, because I still have respect for him. Especially after that feud with CM Punk. Come on now. But then, right afterwards, not even long afterwards, he gets arrested for possession of drugs. Really, Jeff? Really? By this time, it's like, okay, really, Jeff? After all that, after getting suspended or released by WWE for drugs the first time, you're going to go right back to your old style of life. Really, Jeff? So instead of laying low until his drug problems and, you know, his issues with the law clear up, he decides to go to TNA. And, well, he can't go back to WWE, especially after his, you know, arrest for drug problems. You know WWE is not going to break him back, so he can only go back to TNA. Which alone was a dumb move in so many aspects, but whatever. He went to TNA, he had a decent career there. They put the championship on him later on that year after having a couple of good matches, especially that match against Kurt Angle. That was a great match. And they made him a heel world champion, which was a smart idea because that's never been done before, and it was new. So it was like, okay, this should be interesting. And then Victory Road came around. This dumbass had the audacity to walk out into the match drunk, pilled, drugged out of his mind. To the point that TNA themselves had to result in giving the audience the shortest and crappiest main event ever. One of the shortest and crappiest main events ever in wrestling. And for some reason, TNA still wants to bring this guy back. That company, I swear to God, whatever, it's not about TNA. But since that day, my respect for Jeff Hardy has gone straight to hell. I've lost all of it. And people want to tell me, Deluxe, man, don't be so hard on Jeff Hardy. Why? Why not? Well, he's done a lot for the wrestling business. He has a lot of heart. But he doesn't have a lot of brains, apparently. He's not a very good role model. He isn't. He isn't. Why should I get behind a guy that's constantly making mistakes and never learning from those mistakes? I mean, it would be one thing if it was just Jeff Hardy by himself, just living his life. Because then it would be like, okay, you know what, Jeff is going to do whatever he wants to do. But Jeff Hardy has a family now. He's married, and he has a kid. Come on now, you're a father now, Jeff Hardy. Get your shit together. And it wouldn't be a problem for me if it wasn't affecting his wrestling career. But once he gets to the point that he's showing up to his matches drugged out, pilled out, and, whatever, out of his mind, no. That's when it starts to affect me as a fan, and that's when people should actually say, okay, enough is enough, Jeff Hardy. There has to be a line drawn for Matt and Jeff. I'm tired of people saying, don't be hard on the Hardy Boys, give them another chance, let them live their life. No! Okay? Fans, if you really care about Jeff Hardy or Matt Hardy, there has to be a point where you as fans have to say, seriously, Jeff, get your shit together, okay? Because we care about you. Not because we want to bash you or make you look bad, but as fans of the Hardy Boys, there has to be a point where people have to tell themselves, alright, we have to say something to these guys. I mean, for Christ's sake, look at Matt Hardy. If anything, Matt Hardy was the brother with a head on his shoulders back in the day. When Jeff Hardy was screwing up his life, Matt Hardy, he was still going to WWE. He was doing jobs gracefully. He was being the company guy. He was putting on the best matches he can, putting people over, not complaining until recently, and he had a right to be frustrated. I've said that before. Matt Hardy leaving the WWE because he was frustrated, I understand that, okay? Because WWE had many opportunities to make Matt Hardy a top star. They really did. And Matt just got frustrated and said, you know something, if you're not going to make me a top star and just make me a mid-carder, which I don't want to be, I'm going to leave. And that's understandable, because like I said, if you're going to be in the WWE, I don't see how you could just be okay with being a mid-carder. If you have a goal to be a top superstar, if you have a goal to be a world champion in WWE, why would you want to settle in the mid-cards? So, Matt's frustration on leaving WWE, I understood. Now, what he did after he left WWE, I don't understand, and honestly, it made me lose respect for even Matt Hardy. Because he left WWE, did all this hype up over him changing the wrestling business on his channel when he comes back. And me being the gullible wrestling fan I supported him. I was like, do what you do, Matt. Come change up the wrestling business. And then he shows up at TNA, which was already a bad move. I would have rather him show up at ROH. Maybe he wouldn't be in the situation he is now. But anyways, he showed up at TNA, and instead of standing out on his own, he goes right back into the shadow of Jeff Hardy, where he was in WWE. If that was the case, he might as well have stayed in WWE. At least he was getting paid more money. At least he was being recognized more by the audience. But anyways, he went to TNA, got put in his brother's shadow again. Wasn't really doing anything. He had a couple of matches with RVD, a match with Kurt Angle, a match with AJ Styles. Then had a tag team match and then got suspended for showing up late to work. Really, Matt? Really? You know better. He knew better. Come on, guys. And then the recent reports came out with Matt Hardy crashing his car into a tree because of reckless driving, drunk driving, whatever, getting arrested for a DUI, a DWI, which eventually resulted in him getting released by TNA. That is perhaps... It's one thing to get released by the WWE, but once you're released by TNA, your career is over. Your career is done. I mean, leaving TNA, that's different. But once you're released by TNA, Jesus Christ, Matt's career is pretty much over with. And I feel sorry for him, because it's like, He had great potential. Great potential to be somebody big. Somebody bigger than Jeff Hardy. It's just, he lost some opportunities, and that's not his fault. And, I guess without a real mentor to lead him down a right path on how to be a big superstar, Matt just lost himself. And look where he is now. Falling out, going to the hospital. His friends, Rebby Sky herself, is all like, I had no idea what's going on with Matt. So far, it looks like Jeff Hardy is looking like he's got his shit together, and Matt is just gone. A few months ago, it was the opposite. There has to be a line drawn. There has to be a line drawn where fans have to stop saying, leave the Hardy Boyz alone. Look, you can leave the Hardy Boyz alone all you want, but what's going to happen when they both end up in the hospital? What's going to happen when Jeff Hardy, ends up suffering from the charges and goes to jail? What's going to happen when Matt Hardy, ends up a crippled man, mentally disabled because of what he's been doing to himself when it comes to, I think they said they found some substances of drugs, some other substance besides drinking in Matt Hardy's body when he got tested. There has to be a point where we as fans have to say, alright, enough is enough. Okay? You guys need to get your shit together. I mean, nobody else is gonna do it. Not to insult them, but both of their parents are dead. Who's gonna tell them to get their lives together? Shane Helms? Yeah, the same guy that got the DUI long ago. That enabler of a friend that's gonna encourage them to keep doing what they do and defend them, telling them, let them live their life. Fuck Shane Helms. He's pissing me off. So-called best friend telling us to let them live their lives. Leave them alone. Trying to defend Matt Hardy on Twitter. Talking about some, I'm not enabling it. I'm just being his best friend. Well, I'm sorry, Shane. You just got a DUI not that long ago. I would expect you to be pissed more than anybody else. Show some tough love. Show Matt Hardy that you really care about him and help him get his shit together. But no, Shane Helms is just being an enabler like he's always been and leading him down the wrong path. Some best friend. Rebby Sky, she's a sweetheart. She's not going to tell Matt anything because that's just the kind of person she is. Okay? Somebody has to tell Matt and Jeff to get their shit together. And if it's not going to be Shane Helms, if it's not going to be all the rest of his enabler friends, it has to be the fans. Somebody has to tell them. They have to have somebody telling them, you guys are going down a dark path. And if you continue to go down it, it's going to be tragic. And you don't need me to tell you this. What they're going through right now, what Matt and Jeff Hardy is going through right now, I've seen this happen way too many fucking times. They're going down a very familiar path. I've seen other wrestlers like Chris Kanyon. I've seen wrestlers like Scott Hall. I've seen wrestlers like Jake the Snake Roberts, Brian Pillman. I see them go down similar paths to what the Hardy Boyz are going down right now. And it usually leads to, well, me making a video saying, rest in peace. I would hate to do that for Matt or Jeff. I don't want to do that for either one of them. In fact, I want my next video to say, I am so happy Matt and Jeff Hardy are getting their shit together. And not be Matt or Jeff Hardy just passed away today. Matt or Jeff Hardy is now in prison. Because why would I want to do that? I would rather pretend they don't exist than to come on here and talk about a tag team that was once known as the best tag team in the industry. Two boys who could have easily changed the wrestling business as world champions. Have a tragic life and end up as two inmates inside a prison or end up as two guys that lost their lives because of drugs. Not saying that's going to happen, but let's be honest. I'm just going to tell the truth. That's what it looks like right now. And if nobody actually says anything about it, they're going to go down that path. And then we'll see people saying, rest in peace, Matt Hardy, rest in peace, Jeff Hardy. No, fuck that. Somebody needs to say something now to both of them, Matt and Jeff. Yeah, Jeff looks like he has his life in order. We don't know that now. Before all we know, once he goes back to TNA, he's right back to doing exactly what he used to do. Somebody needs to say something. It's not going to be Shane Helms. Fuck Shane Helms. It's not going to be Raby Sky. It's not going to be their parents because they're dead. It has to be somebody. And the fans need to do it. Fans need to stop saying, you know, respect them for what they did in the past, let them live their lives, because all that's doing is just encouraging them to do what they're doing. Fans need to be more vocal with the lives of Matt and Jeff Hardy. If you care, if you're a real fan of the Hardy Boys, you will be just as vocal as I am. Seeing the messages. I just sent Matt a message today on his YouTube page over inbox. It was long, I don't care, but I pretty much told him, you have to get your shit together. I don't know what's going on with you right now, but it's not looking good. Don't go down the same path as so-and-so. I might actually still want the Jeff too. Asking him to do the exact same thing. You know, be fans. Don't just sit back and say, let them live their lives. Be real fans and tell them, get your shit together, guys. Don't end up like, what's their names? Okay? The point of this video was to educate you guys and open up your eyes about the Hardy Boys. So with that said, thank you for watching. Leave your comments down below. Make a video response. Do what you do. Other than that, guys, I'm just gonna end the video right here because, you know, I'm just tired. I don't. At this point in time, I don't even want to talk about the Hardy Boys anymore. I don't want to talk about them until they get their lives together, or until I have to be forced to make a rest in peace video. We'll have to see what happens. But when it comes to me and the Hardy Boys, I'm sorry. You will not hear me refer to Jeff Hardy or Matt Hardy until I see them getting their lives together. Alright? So, as I said, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you in my next video. Your boy, the Alyx Man, signing off. Peace. Jesus Christ.